Good morning from the Hostage Diaries. It's a depressed Valentine's Day. I suffer for the party. Hey, Louis. So all the rep parasite brothers out there deep dicking them dumb bitches. Rebecca Bloomwood, Confessions of a Shopaholic, 38 trillion in global debt, and growing. No chance of ever fixing that. Just normalize the absurdity. That's the name of the game, is to keep the party raging. So today I'm going to discuss variables of captivity, and we've got some deep dicking going on, some jackhammering going on behind me, so you can kind of hear the subtle sounds, and some bitches getting pounded. I'm going to jump ahead to one of the things. Unsatisfied. See, I have not had sex since 2004. So that's prime wasted decades, me alone, because I've got to be handicapped, Harrison Bergeron, to be unsatisfied. So some rep bros can come in and tag team those dumb bitches. They like the deep dicking. They gonna teach them bitches to love the pounding. And then you get the Trojan Magnum Army deep dicking, pound some ass. Real pro stalking. Finish the bitches off. Amen, brother. Praise Jesus. God bless USA. We're going to start with Curse Marx. That's the name of the game. It's a hate crime. JewDown, hate crime, smart lynching. And make some money off of it. Turn it into a well that produces trillions. Amen, Jesus. It's a miracle. Holy anointed oil, St. Louis 9. So the Curse Marx hate crime. So because of the name Marx, and this is one of the way they justify it for the bitches. Because of Vietnam War, Wolverines. We're gonna turn them into. It's gonna be a gumbo party. So rather than building the Kennedy sort of with using the semiotics of my families, which could have turned us into a prominent family. They wanted gumbo. We're going to chop that down. Sportsman Paradise Trophy. Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Kill that motherfucker. Hang it on the wall. Amen, brother. God bless USA. The permanent marks, the curse marks, goes back to, and my life was over. And when I was like 6 years old, my parents had just, the TL curse marks. My birthday party, and there was even a character in Landman called TL being Texas, Louisiana. But I uninvited TL to my birthday party because he was an asshole kid. He was mean to me. And I invited Shannon Alexander. So, and then my parents got a divorce, and my mother married Tom Alexander, Shannon's father. Woo-wee! So, the girls were chasing us to kiss us. My cousin Terry, and he was older. And we lived in apartments on Harold's Ferry Road. Girls chasing us to kiss us. And I was a stupid kid, scared. And we ran. And so then later on, we're all standing around talking. And this kid on a bike blindsided me, and my head slammed into the concrete. Theoretically, some doctors have said this could have caused my ADHD and made me a bad student. So therefore, that validates the curse marks permanent throughout life. So that's going to haunt me for my entire life because of the potentiality that I had ADHD. So blindside, knockdown, that has cursed me my entire life. Girls are not, I think it goes back to the Prince Louis got a chase, that make the bitches extra special, and the equal voter idols get chased and mobbed by women. There no problems there because they're part of the crew. So the Semiotics create the Kennedy type family. We could have been that, but we had said it's Lumberjacks here, Bogalusa, where I was born, big lumber town. The mascot is a lumberjack. TimberLake. Steal your face. I think TimberLake goes back to the Joshua tree, and Jeff LeBlanc is God in my case. And it goes back to Exxon. His father worked at Exxon, and that makes him an Exxon prince. And in Baton Rouge, there's a huge Exxon refinery. That's jobs and taxes there, boy. We don't give a shit about no energy company. We want to be millers for life. We low bread. Crawdads. So the big Exxon refinery, which is located in Texas, is right next door to the Louisiana state capitol. So I guess I represented the capitol and he represented Exxon. So of course he matters more than me. So he made gay advances on me when I was a kid. Could have scarred me and made me a pedophile when I was older, like they tried to do on so many occasions in order to justify burying me. Spay&Neuter Prince Louis. So the Jeff LeBlanc scenario is he pops up in all the Exxon is a huge part being in Irving, Texas. So he one time we were visiting we moved to San Angelo, Texas. They moved to Kingwood, Texas, which is a suburb of Kingwood, and petrol oil is much more powerful than Kingwood. So they moved to Kingwood, and we were visiting from San Angelo, and it just so happened that U2 Bono, concert was coming up soon. The Joshua Tree, JT's big, Justin Timberlake replacement, JT Marlin Boiler Room, Shakedown. And so I think it's part of the replacement. So what happened was we went to get, it was a lottery to buy concert tickets. And I got my lottery ticket picked. So I bought concert tickets and gave them to Jeff, but he gave me the money. But I waited in line, paid with his money, and he got to go to the concert. I went back home. That's it. Easement precedence. That's a well there. Good mother load. U2 Bono. So therefore, NJL, Jeff LeBlanc, Matt LeBlanc friends joke. It goes back to when he made gay advances on me, and I refused, but he matters more than me. So that programmed my life to be gay. And there were all sorts of incidents in Texas when he was visiting, and I went off with this girl, and I tried my damnedest to get laid a lot. I mean, I had encountered tons of resistance. There was nobody down to party. And finally met a girl, and she just so happened to date a Stephen Lee, an Asian guy, and she was, I don't know what was going on, but so we went out and hooked up and ended up having sex for the first time, and the cops busted in on us. Well, I finished like a champ, but in reality, they're going to make me look like a chump. I mean, always got to desecrate and repulsive to make sure that's the way you pick a pocket. So, Jeff LeBlanc was in town. Then, my mother gets a divorce from Tom, and my mother marries Chuck, Dr. Chuck, on Irving Street, First Presbyterian on Irving Street, and Irving, Texas is where Exxon was headquartered. Boy Scouts, Chuck E. Cheese, Kimberly Clark, Neiman Marcus Direct Mail, all sorts of things were located there. So, they factored into there. Then, I got a job. I got a job, and I don't know. This is all just. I got a job at Cafe Brazil on Cedar Springs in Dallas, which is the gay area, and I actually had a lot of girlfriends and I had a lot of opportunities to have sex there, but I don't think I ever did. I abstained. I've abstained my entire life. I've refused sex on many occasions throughout my life. When I was younger, I had a lot of sex. I hooked up with a lot of girls, just making out or petting or something like that. But I had sex with probably 75 girls until I was 20, until I reached 30. And it seemed like the year 2000, I think it goes back to the Omega Curse, new class, new century. I was last of the new century. So starting around 2001, everything changed. I lost all my friends and no girlfriends, nothing. The last time I had sex was 2004. The last girlfriend I almost had, Liz Kimball, was I think the mafia or the mob was trying to hook us up. And if I didn't eat what they fed me, I was going to starve. And I think because she was from New Canaan, Connecticut, graduated from Notre Dame, went to UVA for a master's in fine arts. Her father was CEO of Morgan Stanley in the past. And they had houses in Stod and all over the place. And she owned a Center Street art gallery where I worked briefly when we were friends, and she wanted to date and I didn't want to corrupt her. And so I kind of pushed it off, and she didn't want to be friends. So we ended up parting ways, and that was the last almost friend I had. And we could have dated, but I didn't. Before that, it was Carrie in 1998. And I think this goes back to the Harrison Bergeron, thing where I've got to be handicapped. I can't have this crazy notion of making me equal to the brothers out there. So the advantage that I have would be the semiotics, like Carrie. I dated a girl named Carrie. Same time, Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City, huge hit. Terry Bradshaw played at Louisiana Tech and was a Pittsburgh Steeler. Another coincidence. So Carrie Morehead I dated. Carrie Bradshaw comes out. So that kind of spooked the brothers. So that could be a huge advantage. They got to handicap me down. So they castrated me. So I lost my ability. They tricked the girls to do the dirty work. The girls are dumb bitches anyway. They got played by the boys, and they're getting their asses pounded. Yeah, brother, lube that asshole up and pound it with a Trojan. Make them wear diapers. Make them wear diapers. That's the game. So, the joke is, it goes back to granny heart disease. The lumberjack timber crazy stalkers never let me get up. When I was younger, we used to collect butterflies and we'd stick pins through their back and they'd be stuck on the cardboard. That's kind of how I've been, stuck with a pin through my back, unable to move. I got to be the Les Miles joke. Keep me in the bubble to let the virus take hold so they can alienate me, keep me captive. That's part of the smart lynching the cage of the zoo. Granny died of heart disease. She smoked, she ate country food, no exercise, died when she was like 48. I got real upset, which is another curse Marx for me. When my grandfather died, he had diabetes, he had the walker, he was in really bad shape, and I didn't get near as upset. I was a few years later, but I got really upset when my granny died. She was young, so that was a curse Marx on me. But heart disease at the Baton Rouge General, or Tom Alexander worked, my stepfather, And so the revenge on them, I think it goes back to I think this was the mob played sides. We were always just game pieces. The Louis Marx toys, Rock'em Sock'em robots. The jackhammer still pounding them ass, pounding, make them bitches squeal like pigs. Yes, pig suey. Deep dickin', Trojan Magnum deep dickin', Paris baguette. So Granny Hardy, she died of heart disease and the curse the Marxists. So my sister excommunicates my father. That's a huge shot to his heart. And then they royally screw me. And iHeart Radio happens on my dad's birthday, 9/16/2014. And 214, happy 214, that is spells out bad, B-A-D, and that's Dallas, Texas, where my sister went to college and I lived for a little while. My mother and them had a house at the Mayfair and they had condos and all. They lived there part-time. So, Granny's heart disease was a curse on the Marxists because the mob always plays it goes back to, we gonna get them Jews, lynch them to some Jews. That's our token Mississippi burning for the German Hardys. So, that's just a speculation, but it's probably accurate. It goes back to Mississippi burning. Them uppity Yankee Jews come in and mess with our slaves. What are they thinking? So, Beau Curse civilization, beauty of Beau Curse. Gumbo! Yeah, it goes back to when I was at St. Thomas More. Girls were never nice to me. I went to St. Thomas More from kindergarten to 8th grade and I had no girlfriends the entire time I was there. None. Not one. The only thing I can remember is when I was in Montessori school, my mother drove carpool with a girl named Ellen and a girl named Kathy Machowski, and they ended up being in St. Thomas More class with me, and we weren't even friends. I had known them. So I think it goes back to when we moved to Wedgwood. Some uppity Yankee some uppity Yankees, the Riester twins, Jodi and Jeri, were our neighbors. And them southern bitches ain't gonna share. We gonna keep this boy. We gonna waste him. We gonna desecrate him. We gonna screw him. We gonna steal everything from him. We ain't letting him escape to no Yankee land where they might treat him good. We gonna lynch his motherfucking for all the uppity Jews that freed our slaves. That's something southern bitches, the Miley Cyrus, something beautiful. That's the way they thinking, or that's the way Savannah treats me. So, the Riester twins, we were friends. We hung out some, and we were never close friends. They were much smart. They were at magnet school. I was a dumb kid, had ADHD, played outside, and we went on the boat. We had a boat. We went on boats together and things like that. And we were friends, but we never were close friends. But we hung out a lot together with our families. But we never and that's a shame. They were nice girls, but I think the Red and Buff of Delta Chi, Buffalo, New York is where they were from. Is that why I got the curse? Because them Yankee bitches moved in next door to me. That's them chasing me. The curse marks. They're gonna knock me down. So I got beat down. I got massacred. My entire life has been one smart lynching after another to waste away. And this is just the culmination. Hunt, stalk, poison, trophy. Gumbo. So they were making gumbo. So me, rather than building me up because of all the semiotics that were going on, which they obviously saw and knew that put a target on my back, they were going to chop me down. And goes back to the Beau Curse, civilization beauty. Rather than Louisiana is a fucking it's got natural beauty, but the cities are fucking ugly, with the exception of New Orleans downtown and the Garden District. It's pretty fucking hideous, and they didn't want the civilization beauty. They want the McDonald's and the Burger King and the strip malls and the crap, trash the place up. We got natural beauty. Sportsman paradise. Worst thing that ever happened to Louisiana is the slogan Sportsman paradise. It killed me. I guarantee that the reason I got hunted and stalked and lynched and hung on the wall as a trophy was Sportsman paradise. We gonna hunt us a gumbo. We cannibals. We gonna hunt us, man, prove we tough a bear, yeah. So we gonna hunt them. The crazy, stupid sportsmen, game addict, trillions lost. Imagine how many of bright minds got hunted and wasted because of it's this mentality. The hunt. I honestly think the Duck Dynasty is a joke. Soup Dynasty is a joke on Louisiana. They have a small business of duck calls rather than a business like Exxon Mobil, Jeff LeBlanc. We got jobs and taxes, Miller Crawdads, but no Louisiana major energy companies. The lion's share, Louis goes to Outsiders. Outsider book being an S.E. Hinton book I read voraciously as a youth. S.E. Hinton, Southeast. Carrie Bradshaw, I went into that already. Carrie, the last girlfriend I had, Carrie Morehead. Carrie Bradshaw, the curse. Crazy, stupid sportsman paradise. Hunt, stalk, poison, trophy. This goes back to my entire life. They had to beat me down. That's making some gumbo. We cooking gumbo. Sausage. Lumberjack sausage. Chop down that family tree, splinter it. Rather than building a Kennedy's and a business empire to make us a global power player, we got us a trophy. Sportsman paradise. Amen, brother. God bless USA. Jesus save us. Pay our debts. 38 trillion global debt. Oh my. So I never broke. Oh yeah. I had the girlfriends I had. My first kiss when it should have been with the Jodi and Jeri&Jodi kid or one of the girls. I never got invited to a St. Thomas More party. I was shy. I was a shy kid because I never had girlfriends other than Jodi and Jeri&Jodi who were very cold and standoffish. But because I had low self-esteem, it made me shy. That's gumbo, cooking gumbo there. Low self, so they ignored me and they're making gumbo. That's cooking a roux. And chopping down. So I was a shy kid. I never went to dance, never got invited to parties with girls or anything like that. And so I was shy my entire life. I had girlfriends. My first kiss was in my 10th grade after I got held back from moving to Texas for higher requirements. This girl named Michelle, who I met at school, I ended up kissing her in a classroom and found out that she had dated an African American who was there was a smoker section of high school I went to, and he was African American, so she had dated him. So my first kiss was a guy, and she had probably slept with him because one of the reasons we ended up out, we never really broke up, we never really dated, but she told me she thought she was pregnant by this older guy, and it was really strange. Me and my first kiss, me being, and my stepfather was president of the big hospital in town, and when he got hired, it made news, and so that was my first kiss. So the Curse Marx. So Curse Marx says anybody that, and then I dated Dawn Hudson for about a year, and we made out and did finger stuff, but she would never let me sleep with her, and she finally broke up with me because I don't remember why. She ended up kissing this guy named Jay. I worked for a summer in Houston, Texas, and hauling meat for my dad's company, and so I could save up to buy a car, and she ended up kissing this guy, Jay Brunson, on the 4th of July. That's probably goes back to the Wolverines joke with me being Red Dawn, Curse Marx, probably. And that started the hunt. So I never had another girlfriend until Suzanne, which was in 1989, I think, or 1990, my sophomore year of LSU. So I didn't, but I already mentioned the girl Heidi Housley, who was the first girl I slept with, who I was in a car that the cops busted in with Jeff LeBlanc being there. And I had sex a few more times, but not much. And I hooked up with a good many. Ended up making out with a lot of girls, but nothing, wouldn't go much further. But it was a curse. I was being butchered. There was I have no doubt in my mind I was assassinated. They saw me, it was like the Kennedys and damn uppity Catholics. And the Catholics were fucking dumb because they were fighting against me because I had Jew blood in me. So the Catholics were fighting against me because I had Jew blood. And the Protestants were fighting against me because I had Catholic potential and Jew blood. So I was fucked regardless. I was screwed. So the point of this diatribe was the only girl I ever broke up with was Kate Luce, and it was because she was mean, first of all, and we lived together while I was selling copiers, the worst first job ever because I was shy and had ADHD and not very much drive. And I ended up moving in with her because I gave up my apartment on Lee Drive and ended up moving in with my stuff in with her. Then my mother bought a house for me to live in with. And so when she did that, I knew wasn't going to go any further. I think Kate wanted to get married. That would have been the bridge to Texas, but she was really, I don't know. She was not what I was looking for after I had experienced a free spirit and that sort of mentality. I wrote about it in my book, Deviant Consciousness, and that was the premise of that. I was a bit wild, slept around. That was in college. I never broke up. Only girl I ever broke up with. Other than that, every girl dumped me. I got dumped constantly. It was kind of like I tried to have girlfriends, but never constantly. I was rejected tons. Gotta keep that low self-esteem, Gumbo. At September. I honestly think they were traps set to try to catch me. They had to make me dirty in order to justify the lynching. They had to this goes back to use the law against the law. Me being a barrister, so they had to make me dirty in order to justify picking my pocket. So it was a way, it goes back to the gospel of the Godfather when Senator Gary's at the whorehouse owned by the Corleones, and he ends up, he wakes up and that girl's dead in bed with him, and Tom Green comes in and says, "We can take care of this. Now we're good for it." It's like initiation into the fraternity mafia. So I was set up to gag, so they could have the big long party. Prime wasted decades, still going on, but now they got so much more corruption. But Louisiana is so massively screwed up, massive mismanagement. There's no private equity firms, no major energy companies. And the Gulf oil, trillions of dollars in Gulf oil, all the LNG ports that they're celebrating. Oh, we got all these LNG ports. They're owned by outsiders, you dumbass crawdads, small heads. Yeah, they're owned by outsiders who make the lion's share. Ha, Louis. Of the corporations own that. So Louisiana has no major corporations, no private equity firms. The R&D is pathetic. They have no technology companies. They have nothing. They have no diversified economic base. They're energy proud, and Trump's going to save them. They're party hard. It's just absolutely insane. And they won't let me mount a campaign. They ignore me. Now Saks Fifth Avenue closed. There's your Valentine's Day special on Canal Place, which is right next to the casino. Oh, all this time, they could have opened a Louisiana-based casino company like Penn Gaming or Argosy, which were based in Illinois and Pennsylvania. But no, they got outsiders come in and get the lion's share of the profits. Ha, Louis. They made fun of me, Louis, and then they were paying off the lion's share of the profits going to outsiders corporations. So now it's Caesar's Palace Harrah's, which owns the casino next to the Canal Place, which is shut down the Saks Fifth Avenue. And once Saks Fifth Avenue leaves the Canal Place, you're gonna lose Chanel, you're gonna lose Coach, because there's gonna be no demand for any shopping in there. It's gonna be low rent t-shirt shops for New Orleans. Whereas if they would have tried my economic development plan that I've been trying to launch for many years now, they could have been a valuable asset to Saks Fifth Avenue and kept the store open. But no. All right, the Riester girls I got into. Gumbo Cannibals, left-handed leftovers. I've been left-handed my entire life. And the worst curse Marx interpretation, the Omega curse, is I get leftovers. And I got to waste my entire life to get the worst leftovers for the bros, because I use my left hand. That's the stupid, insane, criminal mentality of this kidnap and bank robbery. Omega curse. Harrison Bergeron handicap. Read it in 9th grade, me being born on 12/9. So it's a curse. Handicap. And then handicap against the Omega. So I got to be handicap against the lowest and the worst. So that drags me down deep into the well. That's a hate crime there. That's some JewDown hate crime Omega. 2001 New Century curse, no friends, shy. Hunt and fetch. That's all I am. Hunt and fetch for them bitches, for the bros. The Magnum, Trojan Magnum. And see, Magnum has the NU, like the new pledge class that I was initiated Omega into. So I got the mini, and it goes back to the Paris baguette. Material girls. That means I'm living on welfare. So that's, deep dicking for the brothers. I haven't had a date since like 2000. I had a few one-time dates in Aspen. I have not had a date since I've been here. I haven't had a friend since I've been in Savannah in 2010. Nothing. Just totally ignore me. That's Southern hospitality. We gonna Jew you down, boy. We're gonna show you who's valuable Princess Bride's playing on at SCAD Trustees Theater. And next door to the Leopold's ice cream store, where today they had an ad for a shift manager. Leopold Stratton has produced the film Neon Highway for Netflix, and and Beau Bridges stars in it. Beau Bridges is one of the 12/9 birthdays, and it goes back into the SCAD being John Malkovich, my birthday replacement. So I could apply to be a shift manager, but I can't make real money. I might escape the zoo, and they might actually have to pay Jesus saves, Jesus forgives bullshit black card. 38 trillion in debt. Jesus ain't gonna pay that, boy. Deadbeat dad, if ever had a kid. They had to beat me down. If I did ever have a kid, I would have been a deadbeat dad. No doubt about it. I gotta be embarrassment. They gotta ruin me. They gotta, no pride. We shaving you, wigger. You get no pride. We gonna scalp you and wear them wigs. That's the Reese Jones scalped fairways, born on 9/16, Dad's birthday. Let's see. New Century Curse, no friends, no girlfriends, no nothing. Shy Hunt Tea, fetch. Deadbeat dad, if ever had kid. Bitter distempers, perfect 10. Oh yeah. So I've got bitter distemper because I waste the prime of my life. It pisses me off at everything. So things I used to enjoy, I now have what I call bitter distemper, the perfect 10. So I am very peculiar. I've got high standards, the perfect 10, because I also know who I am and what I am worth, even though I'm not allowed to play. I'm a bench warmer. So it creates this perfect, even though I'm literally the lowest form of society, but I should be one of the highest forms of society, and I'm not allowed to play, so I get this bitter distemper, so I don't even like it. I absolutely hate everything. That's the bitter distemper perfect 10 expectations. Why I've wasted the prime of my life, so I'll be rejected. And I'm going to jump forward. Let's see, the Kim Frost. This was part of my butchering, the Bevo 4-H butchering. Kim Frost asked me to try High Y, which was affiliated with YMCA. Which young man. Well, I think the first YMCA was in North America was on my birthday, so that means I get screwed. Part of them screwing me on my birthday. Frost being frosting like cakes and sugar bowl. There's a Frost State Bank with a big tower in Austin. Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger, all this. So Kim Frost asked me to try High Y dance my senior year. That means head trauma coming. Here comes my head trauma. And it has turned me into a well. It cost me billions of dollars and wasted the prime of my life. So what they had to do was they got to get the girls to reject me. She ended up rejecting me for Roger LeClaire, RL, Ralph Lauren Polo, Olympics Polo. So this is a USA joke on the world. They're going to reject the world. The world bitch is going to reject for the USA. That's pride there. Some wizardry. So the Kim Frost joke. So she rejected me, ended up hooking up with Roger LeClaire, and I think they actually ended up dating. And so that was a head trauma there because she asked me out before, we can't have, they got to make that curse Marx work, horrible. Better Than Ezra Brothers. Better Than Ezra was a band when I was at LSU. I remember seeing them at Murphy's. Better Than Ezra. It goes back Ezra Cornell, which was born 111, my mother's birthday, died 12/9, my birthday. Cornell is where Delta Chi was founded, where I was initiated. Omega, last of the new class. And so Better Than Ezra. These brothers, this goes back into this bourbon pride bribery scheme, the po' boy factory. So if it's pride that this is where they use my VIP because of all the semiotics and synchronicity of the family. I've got 20 pages a legal brief that I've worked on for a while now. So because rather than using the VIP to build a family empire and turn LouisIAna into a global power player, they want some bourbon pride. So now all these pathetic nobodies have a better life than me. And so they therefore have pride over, that's the better than that, that's the Beau Rivage betters, addicts. So it goes back to the Ferris Bueller joke of bribing teachers and cops by ruining my life because I've never made as much my entire life. The most money I've ever made was $29,000 a year, which is less than teachers and cops. So all the teachers and cops have pride over me. That's Better Than Ezra. That's a bribe to keep me buried, to keep this well flowing. Better Than Ezra Brothers. Stupid. I mean, LouisIAna, I think honestly the people are sabotaging LouisIAna because of Louis being King Louis. I think they've sold their soul. So now LouisIAna is a pathetic joke with a good sports dynasty. Yeehaw! What's that going to get you? Pride. Bourbon pride. And Mardi Gras, which they have a cirrhosis of the liver, but they got the organ transplant in me. They got me to quit drinking, so now they stole my liver so they can pay for it. I pay for the brain damage and everything. I pay for everything. That's the real JewDown. 214 iHeart organ theft. We got into that. Cat, what are you doing? The JewDown VIP, preserve reputation, crazy, stupid. Cage in the South. I would love to visit New England. I would rather live in the mountains. I would rather live in Europe. But I am stuck in a cage. I hate Savannah. I never want to come back again. It has fucked me like a runaway slave, beat me, and I wasted prime decades doing nothing. I hate Savannah, but I have a home here after being homeless for so many years, after hunted and stalked and fired from 75 jobs and ignored and can't network. See, if I had friends, I could network. If I had girlfriends, if I had a good-looking girl that was popular, I could network and I could possibly escape, or I could create a virus that would expose the sacred society of praise in the Garden of Good and Evil. Sacred society of Savannah matters more than the King of England. Yeah, there's that fucking VIP special cats. So if I had a girl or anybody to help me network, escape, launch my projects, anything. But no, I gotta be alienated. I have been alienated since I got here. Zero friends. My family ignores me. I see them at Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's it. They don't, I send them emails, I send them texts. They ignore them. They ignore me. That's my family. I have no friends. I have nothing. So I fucking hate Savannah. It is the worst place I have ever been. It's pretty in the downtown region. I walk the same fucking route. I would rather live in New England. I would rather live in the north. I would rather live in the mountains. I would rather live in California. Louisiana is too fucking stupid. They have so much brain damage. They are just crazy fucking stupid. I've got overall plans, but I could make a lot of money in Louisiana, but I've been beaten down so small. I've got a glass ceiling of $10,000, so I can't really launch. So I've got to launch from Savannah. I'm getting no help from Savannah, zero help. I've handed out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business cards. Zero friends, zero business accomplices, zero dates, zero girlfriends, nothing. They want to Jew me down and prove they are VIP special. That's the Princess Bride playing here. And then just the other day, they got France to give Paula Wallace the Chevalier Letters and Arts award. So now France is screwing me. The Jews are screwed. That's the joke about the Omega curse. The Jews have screwed. My own blood is screwing me. My family ignores me. Jews ignore me. The French side with Savannah, who screwed me, and so I'm getting it. That's all part of the smart lynching, the Mississippi Burning Man, JewDown, VIP, preserve reputation, crazy, stupid, networking, local fame, friends, castaway, brain surgery. Oh yeah, that goes back to the bitter disinterest, the brain surgery that I've gotten. Cage in the South. I fucking hate. The South is really fucking stupid, but they got Trump. Praise Jesus. They got Trump and they are GOP proud. Party down South. They got tricked patriotic into the Confederacy. Still trying to fly them Confederate flags. Curse Marx, Frost, rejected for RL. Got that. Reject, disappoint, unsatisfaction. Rep bros. Finish them bitches. Yeah, pound them bitches. My favorite thing is the love of my life is the U.S. debt clock. It is so fucked, and people don't realize how fucked it is until they compare the Great Recession to the U.S. debt catastrophe that's going to happen. And it's probably another reason they won't let me make money is because they want me to suffer. Because they got to make their slaves suffer. JewDown, that slave. That's a cheap. That shows smarts there. So, whenever the global debt catastrophe finally happens, I'll be unprepared, unable to prepare. So I'll have to face the brunt of the storm. So, yeah, it's pretty fucking pathetic. So, I think that's enough for my happy Valentine's Day. 214. Wish I was anywhere but Savannah. I hate Savannah.